Hi loves, it is me, Kayla Nicole 999. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I am really slacking on videos. So before we start on today's video, let me first tell you what this video is going to be about. I am pretty sure that 2 rideshare passengers were attempting to traffic me last week, and I feel that I need to make a video about it. But let me just give you a few quick updates because I'm slacking on videos. So for those of you who saw the video about the elderly abuse of my grandfather from my mother abusing him, she's out of his house. I'm going to come back and make a video when I get the chance. For those of you who saw the video about the rapist roommate, he's gone. The motherfucker moved out. I'm going to come back and make a video about that later. For those of you who are wondering about my hysterectomy, I have videos that I've made about my recovery. Those videos are going to be on hold for a really long time. Well, I'm not sure how long, but I can't really explain to you why. Don't worry, I'm fine. And when the time comes, I'll get those videos uploaded and I'll give you an explanation as to why I waited. So let's talk about this trafficking situation, shall we? Some of you may know that one of my jobs, and I have multiple jobs, is as a rideshare driver. It's actually one of my favorite jobs, and I'm not going to say which company that I work for. I'm not going to name any of the companies that I work for. But I'm thinking about quitting. It's one of my main sources of income, so obviously I'm going to have to find a new source of income because I don't make enough money off of adult content, so content creating to survive right now. But let's just go into what happened. So I had this really strange situation, and I don't talk about it much on here, but I am a very intuitive woman. I'm very empathic also. And in the future, I may make some videos regarding those topics, but right now I don't discuss it much. So technically it was last Sunday morning. It was about 1:30 a.m. So I was working a Saturday night shift, which went into Sunday morning. Now, I get a request, and I see that the request is for a woman. It has a woman's name on it. And so I drive. Now, immediately when I pulled up, there was no woman in sight, and there were 2 guys on the street corner, and I just had a gut instinct to not accept the ride. My intuition literally said, just drive past them and fucking cancel. However, I had just had another bad experience literally nights before. On Thursday, early Thursday morning at about 3 a.m. with another passenger. So I downplayed my intuitive thoughts and I said, no, Kayla, it's just your anxiety. You know, you're still fucking creeped out from that passenger a few nights ago. It's your PTSD. Just calm down. Decision I fucking regret. So anyway, I pull up. And one of the guys is like standing with his head against a vehicle like that. And I'm just like, this is sketch. This is fucking sketch. What am I doing? And these 2 guys these 2 white men, just throwing it out there that these were 2 white men. Okay. It's not like they were fucking looking like thugs or anything like that. They were just your average white guys. Okay. They kind of start acting weird. So the one who's standing like that up against the car, he's the first one to get in my back seat. And he gets in the seat right behind me. Something's off. He's like holding his head and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? So then this other man walks around to the passenger rear door. And then he starts fucking with the door handle, claiming that it's locked, but my doors weren't fucking locked, okay? I mean, the other guy got in just fine. And he just keeps sitting there fucking with the door handle as he's smoking. And then he's like sitting there and he's like, well, your door, or his friend in the backseat, he's like, well, his door's locked. And I'm like, well, no, it's not. You know, looking back now, I'm pretty sure that they wanted me to get out of the car, but I was not about to get out of the fucking car to help them. So anyway, I literally told him, I was like, look, that door was working just fine until you walked up. So then he comes and he opens my passenger door and reaches back there to open the door. And he's like, well, I don't know what's wrong with your door. And then he finally gets in the back seat. So by this point, I'm freaking out, but I'm a fucking actress and I'm really good at keeping my cool, or pretending to keep my cool anyway. Yeah, I guess it comes with the territory of being an abuse and a fucking rape survivor. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, these guys are in my car. I just got to ride this shit out. I just got to get them to their destination and we can be done. So we start driving and I'm trying to play it cool. I'm trying to talk to these guys. I'm trying to keep it cool. And the one in my passenger seat, or the one right behind me, not in the passenger seat, I'm sorry, the one right behind me in the back seat, he's fucking bleeding. His head is fucking bleeding and he's sitting there complaining that he's bleeding. And then he sits there and asks me why women are so crazy. I'm an honest fucking person. I'm not going to sit here and play games unless I absolutely have to. So I looked in my rearview mirror and I said, well, that depends. Obviously, some women are just crazy. However, often women are crazy because a man makes them crazy. Didn't really have much to say to that. So then the one behind my passenger seat, he leans forward and he's like, I just saved this dude from jail tonight. I'm just sitting there. In my head, I'm like, oh God, what the fuck did I just get myself into? Supposedly the one that's bleeding went through a breakup, okay? But that was a line of bullshit. Bullshit. And I knew it, but I didn't call him on it. So I just play it cool and I'm like, oh wow, man, you got a good friend there. I mean, he kept you from going to jail, you know, trying to be as cool as can be. I continue to try to have a nice conversation with these guys. And all of a sudden, they're claiming that they're friends, okay? They're claiming that they're friends. And then the one in the back passenger side, he looks at me and he's like, so, yeah, we're new in town. We're here from Texas. And we run a company that works on power lines. And we need a woman who's really good at talking to people to call and email people and let them know that we're going to be in the neighborhood. Bullshit! Okay, indicators in my head were going off, and I'm like, this man is full of fucking shit! Excuse me, I'm getting a bit riled up here. But I say nothing. I don't call either of these guys on their bullshit. I just tell him, I'm not looking for another job. I work 7 days a week. I am too busy. That is when his aggression sets in. And he goes, well, I'm trying to offer you a better opportunity. Whew, okay. That's when I really had to start playing it cool. And I said, well, I'm not looking for any better opportunities. I got my own shit going on the side, okay? This isn't just my only gig. Now, I had no intention of telling them that I'm an OnlyFans girl, or that I'm an adult content creator, or that I'm a cam girl. However, that's when this man sits there and says, well, you know, if you're talking about like OnlyFans, I manage girls' accounts. Can I give you some advice? At this point, I knew I was talking to a trafficker. Okay, there aren't a lot of men just out there managing girls' accounts, and he was trying to claim that he makes $20,000 a month or a week off of some of these girls' accounts. Again, bullshit! I didn't say that. So I said, well, yeah, actually you hit the nail on the head. Go ahead, offer me some advice. So then he starts telling me how I need to tell these guys that it's my first time. Now, I never said that I meet up with men in person because I don't fucking meet up with men in person. I am a virtual only girl. But he automatically assumes that I be selling myself in real life. So I continue to listen. And then he starts going and he's like, well, I play this differently because the girls don't talk to the guys. I talk to the guys for them. Trafficker! But I keep it cool. Okay? So I listened to his spiel. And then finally I tell him, I said, I don't meet men in real life. The motherfucker tells me, well, that's why you need a pimp. Okay, he literally told me he's a fucking pimp. And I looked straight at him and I said, I just said, I don't meet men in real life. And y'all need to understand something. If a man tries to fucking touch me, he's going to the hospital. Well, the one who's bleeding in my backseat, he starts fucking freaking out then. Freaking the fuck out. Why? Well, because some other woman who he was probably trying to do some fucking shady shit to made him bleed earlier that night. He wasn't going through a breakup. Okay? So then the one in my backseat, like, at some point, he's, like, sitting there. Before this other guy told me that he was a pimp, like, he was, like, trying to say that he's a piece of shit and blah, 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 you know? And I was, like, trying to talk him up and well, you know, I was like, look, you got a really good friend over here, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so now that the other dude admits he's a pimp, then the dude who's bleeding sits there and tells me, and he's like, we're not friends. We're just business associates. Now, I'm allowed to kick people out of my car for any reason. But at this time of night with nobody around, I wasn't about to pull over and kick these two guys out because I felt that I might die if I told them to get the fuck out of my car. I felt that would just start an altercation. So I'm in it. The only thing I can do at this point is continue the fucking ride. So now I know I have two human traffickers, likely human traffickers, in the back of my car. And there's all kinds of crazy ass shit going through my head. I'm like, oh my God, how the fuck am I going to escape this? I'm a fucking fighter. I am a fucking fighter. And if they would have tried shit, I would have fought. If one of them would have fucking touched me, I would have wrecked the motherfucking car. You know? Like, I ain't going down without a goddamn fight. I will tell you that. So now I know I have likely two human traffickers sitting in the back of my car trying to fucking traffic me. They keep trying, well, the pimp keeps trying to talk to me. And I'm like, look, dude, and this is when I just told him, you know, I was like, dude, I am not trying to do what you're suggesting that I do. I'm doing my own thing and things are working out for me. I don't like being fucking touched. I already told you that. And I swear to God, if a man fucking touches me, he will be going to the hospital. I said, I'm doing just fine running my shit on my own. I do not need a pimp. I said, I got 1.5 million views on Pornhub right now. And I have over 9,000 subscribers. So you need to just back off. Now, we're getting closer to their destination. And at this point, I just want this situation to be fucking over. I'm a rape survivor. I am an abuse survivor, and I'm having a major PTSD attack as this is going on, but I'm having to sit there and just, everything's great. Everything's great. Yeah, because I'm really good at fucking faking shit. I had to learn to fake shit, you know? Abuse survivors like me, we learn how to fake it. So I keep driving. We're getting closer to their destination, and the pimp looks at me, and he's like, we're about to pull up to the mansion. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, you are so full of fucking shit. It ain't a mansion, y'all. It is a typical fucking suburban house. I know what mansions look like, and this ain't one, okay? This is how they try to get in your head. But the fact that I got him to tell me that he was a pimp, I knew he wasn't in my head, I was in his head. Still doesn't make the situation more comfortable. So I get to the destination and I pull up. The one who's bleeding had started hitting the fucking pimp in the back of my car. He's freaking out that bad that he's hitting his business associate. Did I say that part? Did I say that he mentioned? I think I did, but I can't remember right now. He mentioned that they're not actually friends. They are business associates. Okay? I'm pretty sure, but we're just going to remind you all of that one more time. So anyway, he's hitting his business associate, getting physically violent with this dude in the back of my fucking car. Why? Oh, well, because he figured out they weren't going to be able to fucking traffic me. Okay. So anyway, the bleeding man gets the fuck out of my car. The pimp gets out of my car, comes around to the passenger door, opens the goddamn passenger door, has the nerve to look at me and say, so can I have your info? And I just looked at him and I said, no, I got a passenger to pick up. I need to go. He closed the door. I fucking locked the door and I drove the fuck off. And I picked up my other passenger and I completed that ride. And then I sat there researching trafficking and how traffickers approach potential victims. For one, they try to play helpless because they are looking for women who are going to help. Playing with my goddamn door, pretending like it was locked when it wasn't fucking locked. He was trying to see how helpful I was going to be. He was interviewing me. A fucking human trafficker was interviewing me. Okay? Another thing human traffickers will do is offer you a fucking job, claiming that it's a better opportunity. I never asked him for a goddamn job. I never said I even wanted a job. Another thing human traffickers will try to do is manipulate you with fancy words like mansion, because they want you to think that they're cool. But I'm not easily manipulated. Can I prove for a fact that these men were traffickers? No. But everything points to that direction. So I dropped my next passenger off. I then went to a very well-lit, safeguarded parking lot that I know. And I checked around my car, inside and out. Actually, before I dropped that, I did one more ride before going to that parking lot. And I was telling the guys that I was driving about this, and they found a pair of dirty socks. And they're like, there's these socks back here. And I was like, I don't fucking know. They're like, hey, we'll toss them out for you. I was like, thank you. After I dropped them off, I went to a safe, secure parking lot that I knew. And I started checking my car. And I found a vape pen shoved way in the back seat in the area that the man that was bleeding was sitting in. I threw that motherfucker out in a dumpster. Could there have been some sort of tracker, GPS tracker? Possibly, but I don't fucking know. All I know is I wasn't taking any goddamn chances that night. I reported them to the company that I work for. I straight told the company that I work for that I believe they're human traffickers. You know? I'm now trying to figure out how to report them to the police, and yes, I will be reporting them to the police, especially because they said that they, you know, one of them saved the other from jail. So I know that the police are already likely looking for these guys, but I don't have their names. I don't, you know, they were using a fake name on the account. I have one of the guys, what he goes by, but it's initials. It's not a fucking name. Ain't gonna be very helpful. Also, I don't have the information as to where I picked him up, okay? Because the rideshare companies, they don't give you that information. He was standing at the fucking passenger door. I couldn't just take a screenshot of the address that I was dropping them off at. So I kind of vaguely know the cities that I was in, but do I know if I was actually in those city limits? No, I don't. I have a little map showing me where I started the ride and where I ended the ride. But again, it's not clear enough to show me exactly which police jurisdiction it was in. So I already talked to one officer, and he told me that I'm just going to have to call around to multiple districts to see if any of them are like looking for these guys. And I will. I'll be calling multiple jurisdictions to report this, because they need to be fucking reported. So, guys, thanks for watching my video. I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. Watch your surroundings, especially if you are female. Watch your surroundings. Do not trust these fucking guys, because there are some serious fucking creeps out there. Stay safe, ladies.